أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Khatera to be given tonight after Maghrib by our brother Hafiz Hamim. And so he's going to go ahead inshallah and start his Khatera inshallah. And then I would like everyone afterwards to make their way over to the gym for the event. Jazakumullah khair. And without further ado, we're going to start now.
I won't take y'all's time because I know we all want to go listen to Sheikh Abdul Nasser and Murphy and Dr. Fadi, inshallah. But today I'd just like to narrate a short story that I read recently on an email thread, and I think it's awkward that we get such good stories that are not widely spread out, so I thought it was important to share with everyone. So the story starts out with a boy, much like my age probably, and he comes up to a sheikh and he asks the sheikh, I have a problem. I have very strong desires and I cannot lower my gaze. So it's a very practical problem we all face. And if we say that we're immune to it, we're obviously not human. And so this boy comes to the sheikh and he says, I have a problem, ya sheikh. I cannot lower my gaze. And so at that point, the sheikh looks at him. And he does not ridicule him, does not judge him, does not do anything, but listens to his problem. And so after that, the boy says, what do I do, sheikh? Help me with my problem. So the sheikh hands him a cup of milk. And this milk is filled to the brim. It's filled to the brim. So he tells the boy, take this cup of milk and deliver it to this address at 317 Seminary and deliver it without dropping even an ounce. And so the boy does that. He takes the milk and he's supposed to deliver it. But the sheikh says, even if you drop an ounce of this milk on the ground, one of my students will beat you. He will literally beat you if you drop even an ounce. So what the boy does, he takes this cup and goes and delivers it to this address, and he comes back to the sheikh very happy and excited. He said, yeah, sheikh, I was able to do it, but I don't understand. How did this help me with my problem? And the sheikh asks him at that time, did you look at anyone? Did you have a problem at looking? And the boy goes, SubhanAllah, no. Because I was so focused at this cup of milk. I was so focused and afraid of being ashamed in front of everybody that I was able to do it without even dropping a drop of this milk. So let's just try to understand the scenario. This cup is filled to the brim, and walking through a crowded mall, he was able to do it because he was so focused at it. And he was so afraid of being ashamed. So the sheikh tells him at that time that the religion of Islam is supposed to do that to you. That we're supposed to be so afraid of being ashamed in front of all humanity on the day of judgment, that purpose and thinking about that end will stop you from doing anything evil. But alhamdulillah, at that time, this boy was able to come to realization of what he was doing, and he improved himself. So at the end of the story, it's really happy, and it's all jolly and whatnot, but there's very important practical advice that we can derive from the story. And the first thing is the role of the sheikh. The sheikh did not ridicule him, did not mock him, did not judge him, but listened to the boy. Sadly, today in our leadership, in our communities, we do not have our leaders are not wise enough to address the problems of our youth. And the sadness is to an extent that they don't even support the people that have the ability to support and help the youth. And so it's very important for our leadership to understand that it takes a lot of wisdom, it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of knowledge to help the kids. And without this, we will never succeed. And the second thing that we can understand from the story is the role of the youth. The youth actually understood the problem that he had. He recognized the faults that is inside of him, that he understood that unless I try and make that effort to become better, I'll never succeed. And so it's important for anybody that's struggling with smoking, struggling with drugs, struggling with hookah, to understand and realize that I have a problem. And unless and until we understand and realize that this is a problem, listening to lecture will never help you. Coming to the mosque will never help you unless you understand that this is a problem that needs to be addressed. So I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us realize the problems that we face on a daily basis, to realize that we have faults, and unless until we take that first step to address the faults, we'll never succeed. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help institutes that educate our youth, to support them, to help them. There's two ways of helping. If you have time, donate your time to institutes that help the youth. Or if you have wealth, donate your wealth. And unless and until we do that, we'll never succeed, because we know we're in a mess. And The greatness of our religion is that we have the solutions. All we need to do is open up our solutions, open up the books of hadith, open up the Quran, and we'll reach our solutions, inshallah. And it's very important to fund the educational institute because our tradition is rooted in education. Iqra was the first command that the Prophet received. And this is the only solution that we have to read and educate ourselves. So I pray, and inshallah, I invite everybody to come out to the gym and listen to Sheikh Nasser and Brother Murphy and Brother Fahd, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
صدق الله العظيم.